Hi everyone, and welcome to my second and third weeks of September rolled into one weekly wrap-up. I didn't film one last week because I was in a massive reading slump caused by one of the books I'm going to mention today. So, first off, quick summary for you. I read 5 books in the last 2 weeks. That sounds pretty good for someone who's been in a slump. You say, no. 3 were comics. 1 was the book that put me in a slump and just took me most of those 2 weeks to read. And the other was an absolutely amazing book that I absolutely loved, and I read most of it today. So, first of all, the first book I want to mention to you is Descender Volume 1 Tin Stars, and that is by Jeff Lemire. And that is a sort of comic graphic novel collection about a young robot named Tim21 who tries to struggle to survive in this really crazy universe. It's quite messed up. It's got lots of robots and humans in it, and it was really interesting. I found it really intriguing. My main issue with it was that despite there being lots of characters and lots of, like, the plot I enjoyed, I found the plot really interesting. However, I had a lot of issues with the lacking of character development. However, I feel like because there's going to be multiple volumes for this series, I feel like that's something that can definitely be worked on. I feel like maybe the next volume will get a lot more character development, so I'm not going to knock it off of that. I'm definitely going to pick up the next issue if I can get my hands on it at some point. I generally quite recommend this if you're quite into graphic novels, quite into science fiction, that kind of thing. It might be worth you picking up and just checking out for yourself. And I got that one off NetGalley and I gave it 3 stars. The next comic that I got off NetGalley I also gave 3 stars to, and it's called Invisible Republic Volume 1 by Gabriel Hardman. Now this one I didn't really get on with quite so well. I gave it 3 stars because I could sort of understand why some people might like it, and there was sort of some redeeming qualities in there, but overall I didn't find this one quite so for me. This series was about a woman named Maya, I don't know how to pronounce her name, and her cousin Arthur McBride, and they are living in a very futuristic world that is nothing like the world as we know it. I found that the plot lacked a little bit because there was too much focus on politics. It was all politics. I wanted something more from it. I found that there were intriguing parts and that kept me reading, but overall I was a bit like, why are we going into more politics? I want to know what exactly is going on here. I found the pace quite good though. Like, things did move in a relatively steady pace. I just wanted more from it. The art was relatively decent. I quite enjoyed the art. The art was very much my kind of thing, but the politics just ruined it all a bit for me on that one, I think. I'm really not sure whether I'll continue the series or not on this one right now. It'll be a case of I'll have to just wait and see. The next comic I picked up off NetGalley was Doodle Jump, and I gave this one 3 stars as well. It was volume 1 and it's by Meredith Gran and Steve Uy. The main thing I'd have to say about this one is that it's quite cute. It's very childish. If you've ever played Doodle Jump, I highly recommend you just check it out if you feel like it, because it'll just sort of just bring it all back to you playing it, and I found that a really cute aspect of it. I found it quite enjoyable and just a nice, quick, light-hearted read. There wasn't an awful lot in terms of plot, although I'm quite surprised I managed to get as much as they did out of what at the end of the day is just a video game character. But I found it quite intriguing. I'm not sure if I'd pay for it. I definitely would pick up another copy of future volumes if I could get it very cheap or as a review copy, but I'm really not sure if I'd pay for it. But like I said, if you're into that sort of thing, it's quite a nice, light, easy read, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it if that is your cup of tea. Now on to the book that put me into the worst reading slump in quite a while, I'd probably say. Even now I'm struggling with this reading slump a little bit, and it's taken reading a book that I knew I'd definitely be able to get through to help me get out of this reading slump. So the book responsible is another book off NetGalley. It's called A Whole New World and it's by Liz Braswell. I gave this book 1.5 stars. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll notice that I rarely ever drop to sort of... You might see the occasional 3, but generally speaking, I really am usually quite good at picking up books that I know I'm going to enjoy, that are my cup of tea. So it's very, very rare I stumble upon something that ends up getting such a low rating from me. And the general trend on Goodreads is that everyone has been caught out in the same way with this book. I don't know whether it's a case of we all expected too much from it or what, but basically it's a Aladdin retelling. So straight away you can see why many people would jump on this one, and you can understand why perhaps it wouldn't be for everyone, because maybe they don't like how it's been done or whatever. But this book just had so many issues for me, and I know a lot of the times you'll see negative reviews of books and you'll think, I want to find out why they hated it. I'm going to go and read it too and see if I have the same response. I've not seen very many, if any, positive reviews for this one at all. The first easily 20% of the book, yeah, about 20%, is literally pretty much solid the Aladdin movie. Solid. No differences at all. And then from then on it then sort of moves into the retelling side of things. So basically the idea is that rather than Aladdin getting the lamp, Jafar gets the lamp and he takes over and kills the Sultan and causes havoc for everyone really. And beyond that I can't really tell you, well, I would say I can't really tell you anything because of spoilers, but that's not true. I can't really tell you anything because it was just dull. Nothing really happened. There's nothing to tell you about. I just kept reading, thinking it'll get good soon, it'll get good soon. No. So I'm really thinking it probably isn't a case of the fact that one of my favourite Disney movies has been put into a book, and it's more a case of just this book definitely wasn't for me. This one, I haven't got anything good to say about it, and I was always taught if you don't have anything nice to say then just don't say anything at all. So I'm just going to leave it at that. The final book I want to talk to you about this week is the book that's helped pull me back out of my reading slump, because as I mentioned I was really struggling. I've started jogging instead of reading. I've been doing anything instead of reading, so I was like, right, I need a book that I know is going to grip me. I didn't want to reread anything because I've got a far too bigger stack of books right now that need reading, especially NetGalley ones. But at the same time I didn't want to risk a NetGalley book just in case. So I picked up something that I knew was going to get me out of the slump, and that was this book. And I'm so glad I went for this one. This is the second book in the Magisterium series by Cassandra Clare and Holly Black. This one's called The Copper Gauntlet. I read The Iron Trial, which is the first book in the series, in July, I believe, around that sort of time, and I absolutely loved it. I gave that one 4 stars, and I also gave this one 4 stars. So this one, there's probably nothing I can really say about the plot that won't spoil the first book, but this one continues on from the first book in a very efficient manner, basically. I would say that I would have liked more school sort of action from this one rather than the direction it went in. Trying to avoid spoilers. But all the same, I really did enjoy the direction it went in, and I'm really gutted now that I have picked this one up already, because that means that I won't be able to get another instalment of this book until next September, I believe. So it's like, oh, what am I gonna do? So, quite a mixed bag of reading for this 2 weeks. Hopefully this next week will bring me a much better reading week. I've been looking at the books I'm planning on picking up over the next week, and they're all looking really good. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get fully out of this reading slump and just properly go for it. So, let me know what you've read in the last 2 weeks. Have you come across any really awful books? Have you come across any that you've absolutely loved that I need to pick up right now and they'll help me get out of this slump? Have you read any of the books I mentioned today? Did you plan on picking any of them up? Let me know again down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Oh, and just a quick news flash. Next Wednesday, I'll be hopefully uploading the Disney book tag. I'm going to try and pre-film it because I will actually be at Harry Potter World. If you want me to maybe vlog a bit of that, let me know down below and I'll try my best. Going with quite a great big group of friends, although they all know that I've got this channel. So hopefully, if I do feel like doing a bit of vlogging, I won't get too much stick for it. So yeah, let me know if you want me to vlog any of that. Otherwise, I will see you next week. Bye bye!